founder of Best Agent. And today in the news, we have discovered that On The Market, the national property portal that's part owned by agents, is being sold to an American firm called CoStar, a very, very big American firm with interests all over the world. Now, I would like to explain why I think this is On The Market's final insult to its founder members, and why, despite the talk of it's going to have the money to fight Rightmove and Zoopla, like money is all you need. Because if that was the case, wouldn't Zoopla already have beaten Rightmove? It's this. If I was an estate agent, and especially if I was an estate agent who was an original founder member of On The Market, today's news might mean I'm going to get a bit of money back from my shares, my original investment into On The Market, but ultimately OTM has completely failed and let its members down badly. And in this video, which I'm going to try and keep as short as I can, like 10 minutes, I want to tell the story because agents who don't know the story are doomed to repeat its failure again. I'll just try and keep it as short and snappy as I can. OTM was originally conceived by a group of agents. In fact, I've got the Wikipedia page here, including Knight Frank, Savills, Stratton Parker, Chestertons, Douglas and Gordon, and Glentree Estates, and founded as something called Agents Mutual before it had a trading name. And I heard about this before it even became public knowledge amongst agents, because one of my clients, one of my estate agency clients, was one of the founder or very early investor members of On The Market. And he said to me, it's going to win because it's a cartel. And I remember saying, that's pretty old fashioned and the internet doesn't really work for cartels anymore. Well, it worked for the London magazine, he said, so I reckon it'll work here, and that's what they think. And I can remember thinking to myself, Prime Location, primelocation.com was a website, was originally supposed to be by agents, for agents, and owned by agents. That failed. They made some money. They sold out, as OTM has done today, but it failed to remove the monopoly from Rightmove. So Prime Location failed. So in their infinite wisdom, these founding agents appointed the same managing director, the same chief executive for Agents Mutual or On The Market as had done Prime Location. Okay, questionable decision at best, utter madness and stupidity at worst. Nothing against the guy himself, but why pick the guy who'd already failed once to do it? To get anyway. So this is where it starts to get bad for agents, because that list of agents that I just read off, and again, let me just remind me their names: Knight Frank, Savills, Stratton Parker, Chestertons, Douglas and Gordon. They went out pitching this to small agents as, we are going to allow you to be members of a property portal with lower fees, so you will make money and you won't have to be on the other big expensive portals, which was a disingenuous bullshit lie right from the outset, because all those guys already have cheap deals with the portals. And the truth was, because I heard it from the horse's mouth, that they were sick of Rightmove and Zoopla making so much money out of their data. They wanted to earn the data. They wanted those profits. So the whole thing was motivated by founder agents wanting the profits, not about making it better for small agents. That was a disingenuous bullshit sales tactic from day one. Nevertheless, out they go. And opinion is divided, and they got something like 6,000 agents, roughly 1 in 3, maybe 1 in 4 agents to actually sign up and hand over significant sums of money as an investment to help fund this shit show, as it turned out. And those member agents were, and I had, at the time I had hundreds of estate agency clients, and they were divided. Some of them joined up, some of them didn't. Some of them saw it for what it was, because the rule, the strategy of their success, the way in which they thought they were going to nobble the duopoly of Rightmove and Zoopla, was by saying to members that the golden rule is you can only list on one of the other two portals, Rightmove and Zoopla. You'll have to come off one of those. And I remember agents saying to me, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to come off either of them because I get leads from both of them. They're expensive, yes, and it's annoyingly expensive, but they work for me. I don't want to have to take a hit on my business inquiries and my business performance for OTM's benefit And some of them said, this is our only option, we'll do it anyway. So off they go. And remember, the whole premise was we want to we want to end the monopoly, and specifically Rightmove, because Rightmove was much more expensive than Zoopla. Guess what happened? When D-Day comes and all of their 6,000 members have to decide which of the two portals they're going to switch off, almost all of them came off Zoopla. And Zoopla lost something like 25% of its subscribing member agents overnight. Up till that point, Zoopla had been the only healthy competition Rightmove had, and the only company that had a chance of actually toppling Rightmove. But instead, these agents, in their wisdom, decided to nobble Zoopla, and the rest is history. What happened? Zoopla's leader at the time, Alex Chesterman, decided to go off and start up a second-hand car sales website. He just bailed out and walked away. I don't blame him. I mean, it was the worst slap in the face to Zoopla, that was a good team that was doing good things for agents at the time. It was the worst slap in the face for them, for all those agents to go, oh, well, we're going to stay on Rightmove, not Zoopla. I understand why those agents did that, but this was the beginning of the end. And of course, it didn't work. They didn't make money. They didn't get enough agents on board, so there weren't enough properties. So the public didn't go there in significant enough numbers to make it pay for agents. So they couldn't sign enough agents up, and they couldn't get enough inventory on there. So what did they start to do? They decided to list it on the stock market, which eventually they did. They listed it. 89% of their members voted for it, because if they didn't, they were going to be out of business, right? And it raised some money and it allowed them to keep going. And they've been struggling ever since. And they gave up all efforts to become the number one property portal owned by agents, for agents, and to be an improvement. They just gave up, and they've just become a sort of services business offering software and lead gen and other stuff. There is not even an attempt to keep going at that mission. Gwyn C asks, requiring them to come off another portal sounds anti-competitive. Was it ever challenged? Yes, it was. Interesting question. It was challenged in court. Gascoigne Pease, a large member agent of OTM, a founder member, decided not to come off Rightmove and Zoopla and stayed on, and OTM sued them because it was a test case. Excuse me. They had to do it. They sued them, and it's on the Wikipedia page. If you just go to OnTheMarket's Wikipedia page, it's got the whole story of that. But the courts found that it was not anti-competitive. There you go. There you go. Who knew? So ever since then, OnTheMarket's been trying to do good stuff for agents, trying to do good stuff for agents. And there have been agents out there who still hate having to overpay so much money for their Zoopla and Rightmove subscription. And they've been championing OnTheMarket. You can see them in the comments on the Property Industry Eye stories. What we've all got to do is get behind OTM because it's the only other alternative, which amazed me that they hadn't noticed that OTM had given up trying to compete with Rightmove and Zoopla and instead just become a software and services company. So, okay, so what now? If they suddenly have loads of money from their new American overlords, does that mean they're going to be able to actually challenge Rightmove and Zoopla? Well, let's take a look at that several different angles. Number one, do they have more property than Rightmove or Zoopla? No. So no one's going to go to OnTheMarket unless that happens. And maybe they'll announce some strategy to suddenly get all agents on there, but I doubt it. Because in this market, agents are not looking to increase their outlay at the moment. Will just money, just sheer marketing work? Well, no, because people don't, I mean, Boomin came along. Boomin had loads of money. Boomin spent millions on TV advertising. Where did that get them? Marketing dollars alone will not help or make any difference unless there is a tangible difference in the proposition that they are offering, not the agents, but movers. OTM strategy has been to just abandon movers and focus on agent services. So unless they're going to do a complete about turn. So let's the next question. Maybe this giant American corporation called CoStar that's got interests in 33 countries around the world is going to really care about what agents want and about what British consumers want. Maybe. Or oh, look at some flying pigs going past my window. Did you see those pigs fly past the window? And the American investors really care about British movers. Yeah. So what's just happened? Rightmove already, to all intents and purposes, although it's listed on the stock market, is controlled by American equity, private equity and hedge funds. Zoopla is 100% owned by an American private equity company called Silver Lake. And now On the Market is going to be 100% owned by an American, to all intents and purposes, by an American. Do you really think that that new American company is going to let agents have a say? I mean, if anyone thinks that, then I wish you the best. I wish best of luck. So I am frustrated about this because I have been out for a long time fighting for a better deal for good agents so that movers don't get fucked around so much by bad agents doing bad things. And On the Market, it's I predicted this failure from before it launched. I called On the Market before it was named that a trap. Agents Mutual is a trap, I wrote, and I was threatened if I didn't take it down. I said that it was a trap, and it was, and it's achieved. I mean, what has it achieved? Agents who are members of this need to ask themselves, what has it achieved? Has it made any difference? Has it brought about any innovation? Has it improved anything? Or has it just been yet another outlay that's delivered nothing? I know that some agents say that the leads they get from OTM are okay. All right, cool, that's great. It's another source of leads. Has it changed anything? Or was it a colossal waste of time and money? And we are back to square one. And now all three of the biggest sites are owned by American investors. Yay, because they really give a fuck about British moving in the British property industry, don't they? What is needed, which is why I have built Best Agent. And by the way, I know I've said this story before, but I repeat. Before I began work on Best Agent, I sat down face to face with the chief executive of On the Market, and I gave him the strategy and said, this is what you should do. And if you do this, it will work, and I won't have to do it. And he listened. He said, it's a really good strategy, but the board won't go for it. Well, this is what happens when people who are experts in one industry, i.e. being estate agents, try and come into another industry, i.e. being a consumer-facing tech company, which has nothing to do with being an estate agent, and think they know what they're doing. Let it be the last failure of its kind, right? You should no more be asking estate agents to come and run a tech-facing consumer business than you should be asking plumbers to build Checkatrade. It's different skills. So anyway, for those of you who care about this, and for those of you who care who owns these property sites and who owns these CRM systems, I would like to let you know that Best Agent, bestagent.property is a national property site, and Best Agent back office is a CRM system, which is at the moment 100% owned by me. And if I can get the community together to make it work in the way that I want it to work for movers and agents, then in the future, one day, I am open to allowing it to become owned by agents once agents have actually helped it get where it needs to get. I suggested doing that with the previous site. And the moment I suggested that agents could become the owner, I was immediately accused of, oh no, it's a scam. What? Giving you upfront ownership. And yet again, this is a point where you can't run a business with people who don't understand how that side of things works. Some do, some don't. But I've learned my lesson. I've been burnt. I've seen how it works. So I will continue striving to deliver an improvement, which is a better, fairer future for agents and movers. And once it gets traction, I'll be happy to talk to agents about the future, what the future looks like, to prevent it falling into the hands of American hedge funds or private equity investors or people who don't give a fuck about the UK's housing crisis. Because a site that is owned and run by people who operate that marketplace and who care about movers and customers will have influence and be able to make a difference. And that's my goal and my end game. So Best Agent's stated goal is the end of bad estate agency. And I hope it works. Do we have any other comments? Dominic Versace on LinkedIn says, do all the agents on OTM get a payout? Nope. Only OTM shareholders. As far as I know, I could be wrong, but as far as I know, only the original OTM investing agents who have shares and who didn't give them up or sell them since the listing will be getting any form of payout. The rest of you, sorry. Welcome to your new American overlord owners that's going to achieve absolutely nothing. I hope agents leave OTM en masse. This is not a criticism of the people. It's not a criticism of Jason Tebb. Honestly, he's a good guy. He's done a good job keeping it afloat, frankly, in the face of everything he's been up against. This is not a criticism of the people running OTM. It's a criticism of its original founders and its first management team and strategy. I don't have any beef with any of the guys there now. I feel sorry for them because now you're just employees of an American company who doesn't give a fuck. That's the truth. Any other questions from agents watching this? Anyone else got questions about On the Market that I might be able to answer? If not, I'm going to thank you for watching and look forward to seeing you on the next video and wish you all a very successful day, week, month, and rest of the year in the face of the challenges that you've got. Thanks, guys. I'm here to help. Reach out to me if I can help. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.